Hi everyone. We actually recently launched the new Eduling AI experience. So today I wanted to go live to show you a few tasks with Eduling AI. As you know, our signature approach in language teaching is the task-based language teaching approach. The reason is that we would like students to develop true communicative competence through authentic language use. As you know, we don't learn a language by memorizing one grammatical rule at a time or one vocabulary item at a time. We need to have a lot of opportunities to use the target language. So let me just go straight to showing you what is new with Eduling AI. And we think that it is the ultimate task-based partner and teacher for students to interact with the AI and to receive feedback. After you download the app from the App Store or Google Play, and you can search Eduling, right? And when you open the app, now instead of going to the home screen, you can see the courses immediately. And in this case, I have some courses that I have already enrolled in, and then I have courses that I can explore. And if you want to chat with Eduling AI, there are a lot of tasks within each course that are tasks with AI. But in this case, I'm going to click on chat with Eduling AI here. And I'm going to try this task that I have been talking about a lot. But let's see if you can see that the experience is.
Hello, we are playing a 10 questions game. I have a secret animal in mind. Please ask yes or no questions to guess the animal. You have 10 turns.
So one big change that we have is that now we have a lot of dynamic expressive voices from the AI so that the experience is more delightful and more natural. So in this game, I have to guess the secret animal that the AI has. And so let me try it, and I'm going to make some mistakes to see what the AI does here. Is it a big animal?
Yes, it is a big animal. Lions are large cats.
It a lion?
I think you mean, is it a lion?
Oh, so you can see that because I made a mistake here, the AI actually tries to confirm what I want to say. And as a language learner, this is a corrective feedback move that will help them to change their language or have to confirm what they want to say. Is it a lion?
Yes, it is a lion. You guessed correctly. You win. Lions are known as the king of the jungle.
Yay, I won. Thanks.
That's right. You won. Good job guessing the animal.
Okay, and there's also a change here that you can see that now the task has been completed, so I can finish the conversation or I can continue to chat here. I'm gonna click finish and I'm gonna click next. Let me also try another task here. I like to create activities that are somewhat fun and that qualify as tasks. A task in language teaching needs to meet four criteria, right? The learner's primary focus has to be on meaning. There should be some kind of gap or a communicative gap. Learners have to use their own resources. So instead of saying just rehearsing language or memorizing words, learners actually have to use their language. And the fourth criteria is that there has to be a communicative outcome. In the previous task, the outcome is whether I guessed the animal correctly or incorrectly, whether I won or I lost. So now Let's try another game. We actually created this game for Viet TESOL last year. And so this is an emoji game.
I have a list of ideas and concepts related to Viet to Sol, including Eduling Speak, artificial intelligence, task-based language teaching, teacher development, keynote speech, gala dinner, Cantho City, regional English language office or RELO, and networking. I will give you a list of emojis for you to guess what idea I'm thinking of. Here are your first emojis. Canoe, mango, night bridge.
Oh, okay. So you can see this is fun, and this gives students the opportunity to listen to language and kind of have some fun with it. In this case, because I know Cantho City, so I think this is about Cantho City. So you can talk or you can type.
That's right. You got it. Let's try another one. Here are your next emojis. Robot brain PC.
Artificial smartness.
You mean artificial intelligence?
So I purposefully made a mistake here because you never know what a learner is capable of doing or not doing. And in this case, it asked me for clarification. So this is a negotiation of meaning move to also help students to stretch their language. Yes, artificial intelligence.
That's correct. Artificial intelligence. Let's try a new one. Here are your next emojis. Speaking head, speech balloon, handshake.
Ooh, speaking head, speech balloon, and handshake. Maybe networking?
That's right. Networking. Let's try another one. Here are your next emojis. Mic glowing star speaking head.
Mm. Okay, keynote speaker or speech.
You got it. Keynote speech. Here are your next emojis. Red Apple Books teacher.
I don't know if the audience here wants to guess also. So the emojis here are apple, book, and teacher. Why is there an apple there? Professional development.
Close. Can you be more specific? Think about who is developing.
Okay. So it gives me a hint, teacher development.
That's correct. Teacher development. Here are your next emojis. Fork and knife with plate clinking glasses party popper.
Dinner, a dinner party.
You're close. What kind of dinner party is it? Think about the context of a big conference.
Oh, I think I remember gala dinner.
That's right, gala dinner. Here are your next emojis. United States Globe books.
Relo. Okay, so it cannot transcribe the acronym. So it's gonna,
Do you mean relo?
and again, you can see that it is trying to confirm what I want to say.
That's correct. RELO. The Regional English Language Office. Here are your next emojis. Memo speaking head bullseye.
Task-based language teaching.
That's right. Task-based language teaching. Here are your next emojis. Speaking head cell phone with arrow globe.
Eduling speak. Let's see if it could hear me say eduling because it's a made-up word, right? Oh, okay.
You mean Eduling speak?
Yes.
Yes, Eduling speak. You got all the concepts.
Yay.
You've guessed all the concepts on the list. Would you like to play again?
Okay, so now I can finish the conversation and I can click finish. My app is set to Vietnamese as the primary language, but it can be set to many other first languages. And I can check the history as well. So in this case, I have finished this game, so I can click on this and I can see my whole conversation here and I can listen again. Or I can, here, I can also check the whole conversation and I can submit this to my teacher. So that's another task. I actually want to show you another one as part of an IELTS course that we developed. So the app actually has a lot of IELTS courses, including IELTS speaking and IELTS writing. But we also make use of AI to allow students to talk with AI, to write with AI, and they can get more immediate feedback. And students actually appreciate it a lot. They appreciate that they can write one paragraph at a time instead of having to write the whole essay. So I'm gonna try this task here. It is called the pros.
Okay. Our task is to write an essay about the advantages and disadvantages of knowledge available on the internet. We'll go through it step by step, following the structure provided. First, you'll introduce the topic and the essay's focus in one paragraph. Then, we'll discuss the advantages and disadvantages, providing examples and expanding on ideas. And finally, write a summary. Let's start with the introduction. Please introduce the topic and focus of your essay in a paragraph.
So if you're familiar with the IELTS writing task 1 or here task 2, sometimes students have to write to describe the advantages and disadvantages of a trend or an issue. So in this case, they have to write about the advantages and disadvantages of knowledge on the internet. And there are some notes here that they can look at, but they can also just use their own knowledge. So the first step here that they have to do is they need to introduce the topic. So I'm just going to talk to introduce it. The internet offers a vast repository of knowledge and information immediately accessible to users all over the world. This presents both advantages and disadvantages, which this essay will discuss.
That's a good start. You've clearly introduced the topic and stated the essay's purpose. Now let's move to the first advantage. Please introduce the first advantage of internet knowledge and illustrate it with an example.
So as students, you can also write. Students also type instead of talking because that's more typical of a writing task. So in this case, I'm gonna just type a sentence here. Maybe I'll make some mistakes or things that are not clear. Let's move. Okay, I'll just talk to make it fast. So let's move to the first advantage and introduce the first advantage. I can check the notes here again. The first advantage is information flow, encouraging solution and innovation. A major advantage of this availability of knowledge is the rapid flow of information, which offers solutions to existing problems.
A major advantage of this availability of knowledge is the rapid flow of information, which offers solutions to existing problems.
So you can see that because when I talk, the punctuation is not transcribed correctly, so it corrects me by giving me a more correct written sentence. So this is an example of a correction that the AI provided me. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Can you give an example to illustrate this rapid flow of information offering solutions?
Okay, so now it pushes me by asking me to give an example because usually it is not enough for you to just say that you can find solutions by using knowledge on the internet. You may need to give an example to make your essay stronger. As an example, teachers can find teaching strategies that they can adopt in the classroom, and doctors can find new ways to treat patients. I also made some mistakes there on
These
purpose.
are good examples of how different professionals can benefit from the rapid flow of information. Now, let's talk about the second advantage and expand on it. What's another benefit of the knowledge available on the internet?
Okay, so I can check the notes, so I can think of my own idea. Access to lectures, videos, articles on the internet also provides students with opportunities to develop their knowledge and gain access to higher education and employment opportunities.
That's a strong second advantage. Access to lectures, videos, and articles certainly helps students develop knowledge and access opportunities. Can you expand on how this access specifically helps with higher education and employment opportunities?
As I mentioned, because students can get access to videos and lectures and articles that are available on the internet. So even those without a lot of money to buy these materials can gain knowledge and have chances to be admitted to universities. I
That
know.
clarifies how it helps. Students can learn and prepare for university even without expensive materials. Now, let's shift to the disadvantages. What is the first disadvantage of knowledge available on the internet? And can you give an example?
Okay, so in this case, if I had time, I would type out my answer, but now I have to talk about the disadvantages. And the first one, however, there are several disadvantages that this access to information presents. A major disadvantage is misinformation and disinformation available on the internet, which can be misleading and harmful to users.
That's a very important point. Misinformation and disinformation are indeed significant disadvantages. Can you give an example of how misinformation or disinformation can be misleading and harmful to users?
For example, during the global COVID-19 pandemic, there's so much information about sources of the virus and ways to treat the virus, some of which are not accurate. And this led users to take actions that are not beneficial for their health. I know this is
That's a
long.
very clear and relevant example. Misinformation about health can certainly lead to harmful actions. Now let's discuss the second disadvantage. What's another drawback of the knowledge available on the internet? Expand on it with one or two sentences.
Another drawback is that sensational content is often spread more easily these days, which encourages this kind of content that can be divisive among people. This division can lead to lack of cooperation among citizens in a country or in the world.
That's a good point. Sensational content can indeed spread easily, leading to division and a lack of cooperation among people. Now let's move on to the conclusion. Please summarize the main points to conclude the essay.
So as you know, if you're familiar with this type of essay, you're going to have to write the introduction. You need to write 1 or 2 paragraphs about the advantages, 1 or 2 paragraphs about the disadvantages, and then the conclusion. And now the AI is pushing me to summarize and conclude my essay. In conclusion, the availability of knowledge on the internet offers many advantages, such as solutions to existing problems and access to knowledge in higher education. However, there are disadvantages, such as disinformation and misinformation. Therefore, people need to use the information critically to make good choices and decisions.
That's a comprehensive summary. You've effectively covered both the advantages and disadvantages and provided a strong concluding thought about critical thinking. You have successfully completed the essay task.
In this case, I want to continue talking so I can ask for more feedback. I know learners probably are going to make more mistakes and get more feedback as they complete the task. And for me here, the focus mostly is on the ideas, but I can ask it to give me more feedback. Can you give me some feedback on my language so that I can have a better score for the IELTS exam? Okay. The IELTS here is not transcribed correctly, but
Many of your sentences tend to run together. How could you use punctuation to make them clearer?
anything else about my vocabulary?
To achieve a higher score, try to incorporate a wider range of academic synonyms and more precise collocations.
Can you give me some examples from my sentences?
For example, instead of new ways to treat patient, consider using innovative therapeutic methods for a more academic tone.
Yeah, that's right. Should I also use the plural form in the word patient?
Yes, you should use the plural form patients when referring to them generally, or a patient if you mean one specific person.
Can you give me the whole essay and comment on the structure of the essay?
Here is your essay compiled from our conversation: The Advantages and Disadvantages of Knowledge on the Internet. The Internet offers a vast repository of knowledge and information immediately accessible to users all over the world. This presents both advantages and disadvantages.
So you can see that now it gives me the whole essay with some comments so that I can put my ideas together and look at a better version of my essay. So I'm not gonna read through this or make you listen to the whole essay here. So you can click finish. And again, you can go back to history and check your conversation. So that is our new experience with Eduling AI. As you can see that there are more voices, and if you start another session, you may hear a different voice, more expressive, more dynamic. The speed is faster. The AI can negotiate meaning with you. It can give you different corrective feedback moves so that you can notice things and correct things as you go. However, what we want is for learners to still focus on meaning. So again, we don't want to teach it in a very mechanical way by just explaining grammatical rules or being too explicit in the corrective feedback. So I hope you will try it. To try this, very simple. You can just download Eduling or Eduling colon English courses from the App Store or Google Play, and then try an AI task. I'm happy to show it to you more as well. If you're interested in learning more about this, I'm happy to have one-on-one conversations with you. And I would definitely love feedback.